300. Gary Brown, 6'4", 320. Brown's first 2 games with this team at midseason, both were 100-yard games for Ronald Williams.
Well, he's a big man, and I think 320 is a little bit on the light side, but he's got great feet. And he played tackle in the NFL Europe. Loves the guard position. Feels it gives him more chance to get head-on-head with one of those defensive tackles.
McManus 0 for 4 passing so far. Stays on the ground. Ronald Williams nowhere to go. Gets across the center field stripe for a couple. But McManus having trouble perhaps negotiating this crosswind at Ivor Wynne Stadium.
Well, I think they're doing the right thing, and that's basically running the football. You can see Seth just coming down there. Gary Brown, 67, getting out, getting the big ham hocks on Fred Perry, allowing Ronald Williams to at least have an opportunity to pick up a few yards.
Gain is about 2, second and long situation for McManus as he empties the backfield. 6 receiver set, 4 to the wide side. He goes short side, threw the ball before Amerson made his break, and it was too short. Incomplete in another punting situation. McManus now 0 for 5 passing.
But a nice job of the Argonaut defense of coming after Danny Mac. Don't let him sit back there. Don't let him get into a rhythm. Donovan Carter comes from the outside. One too many guys. They can't pick him up. Forces Danny McManus to throw the ball early, resulting in another incompletion.
Well, we've seen this before. I mean, McManus can go hot and cold several times during a game. Ron Lancaster never gets too excited.
Well, you know, and you also got to talk, Mark, about the fact that as we watch Ozzie punt the football, they haven't been able to scout him. They don't know what they're going to show on defense. It's all new now.
Tyrone Brown was pinned on his 2 and is rocked by Mike O'Shea on special teams at the 15.
Closed captioning brought to you by Tim Hortons Iced Cappuccino. It's creamy, smooth, deep down cream.
A 52-yard punt and a 13-yard return as Pigskin Pete gets this sellout crowd revved up here on Labor Day. Tough field position for the Argonauts. Starting inside their own 15. Kemp, play action pass, pursuit. He's sacked from behind. Big Joe Montford has got him. A sack leader in the CFL.
Well, young Yo Kim, that's his job to try and keep him out of the backfield. But it really is tough when your quarterback is going to do a little rollout into that direction. Number 67 at the top of your screen trying to do that. He just beats him around the corner. And you got to keep a guy like the hunter, Joe Montford, to the wide. Push him around the goalpost. Get him as far from your quarterback as heavily possible.
Montford with his 7th quarterback sack of the season. And it's second and long. Kemp inside his own end zone. More pursuit. Sidearms the ball. Incomplete. Intended for Andrew English, but no chance as this Cat defense gets hungry.
Well, I think you got to try and help out this offensive line. We talked about the fact that they had to run the football a little bit to try and help the pass. But right there, Joe Montford's fired up. Mike Philbrick, he's fired up. They're all coming after the quarterback. They're beating the offensive lineman right there. You got to let your quarterback have some time to set up, to get comfortable, to find his receivers, and that's not happening right now.
Big Joe Montford, perennial sack leader in this league, big man, and he is a lightning rod on this defense. But now, Noel Prefontaine is standing 10 yards deep, and he's going to run this out. Pursuit from Clifford Ivory, and he'll take it into touch and give it up. 2-point safety touch from the punter, Prefontaine.
You know, that's just a smart play by Toronto right there. Being that far back and playing the wind and not giving Hamilton the ball deep in Toronto after the punt. Now they get a chance to kick it off and at least sway some of the momentum and some of the field position.
But Chris, these guys have had trouble on special teams. That's why they've brought this man, Scott Spurgeon, in as a consultant to special teams Darryl Pascal, who was just in the picture momentarily, has had trouble organizing special teams. They had 4 block punts in 2 games. Now this.
Well, that all comes down to one thing, Mark, and that's the fact that he's never coached in a Canadian game. He's never coached with 12 players. Now you got a guy, Scott Spurgeon, who has coached here, understands the game, is a perfectionist when it comes to special teams, and it's going to work well with that.
And he's got to go back to Ottawa tomorrow at Hillcrest High School, where he's a teacher. So he's on loan as a consultant for all of 1 week here to help straighten out the special teams. And you can see he's enjoying working under Pinball. He told me the other day, Pinball Clemens is the first coach that ever said thank you to him for hard work.
Well, you got everybody. You know, Pinball says thank you to everybody. I mean, that's just the way it is. He creates an atmosphere, and what happens is players want to play for him.
Got Hank Alissig over his shoulder also helping out. Veteran kicker in the CFL.
Fresh off his tour of Woodstock.
So Spurgeon trying to straighten out the Argo special teams. Darryl Adrenaline, the special teams coach for the Tiger Cats, very familiar with Scott Spurgeon's tactics, so we'll see how that plays out throughout the course of this game. The kick goes to Archie Amerson at his own 16-yard line. Amerson looking for a seam, avoids Eric Lapointe, and finally brought him down just short of his own 35-yard line. McManus back on the field, struggling in the passing department, 0 for 5. But the Winds have been moving the ball around here at Ivor Williams.
Yes, they have, Mark, and especially on those 2 deep balls thrown by Danny McManus. But you got to give credit to also the Argonaut defense, who are really disrupting his rhythm right now. They're bringing blitz. Donovan Carter on the last series. They're disrupting his rhythm right now, not allowing him to get comfortable back there.
Only needs 2 completions to pass Tom Burgess, 9th all-time in completions in CFL passing, and so far those are hard to come by. McManus, shotgun, hands off to Ronald Williams, lead block, spins off, and he's close to a first down. Running behind Big Gary Brown.
Well, Big Gary Brown, but I tell you what, number 55, Chris Burns just does an outstanding job of not only getting around the corner, backside guard, he's going to pull around, you see number 55, and a hooking, long blocking that guy, giving the alleyway to number 24, Ronald Williams. Nice job of that offensive line.
Williams, the second leading rusher in the CFL, behind the big man Mike Pringle in Montreal. On the ground again, Williams following Chris Burns. This time the Argos put him down for a loss on the play.
Well, Mark, the exact same play they ran so successfully the play before. This time, the Argonaut defense strings out, allowing the defenders to come from the backside and limited the gain. You can see him going around Gary Brown. There's Chris Burns, number 55 in your screen. He's just riding his backside right there, trying to find a hole, but Roger Dunbrack, all the way from the backside, flowing as a good defensive end will, making the play.
A loss despite the fact they brought in 2 extra offensive linemen, Pascal Charon and Mark Verbeek, on that last series. Second and a little more than 10. Here comes Perry right side, passing. It's complete, the first completion of the day for McManus to Archie Amerson. Very close to the first down marker at center field.
Nice job, nice completion, and a nice job of the offensive line of Hamilton, because one of the things that the Argonauts are doing is moving the defensive lineman around. You see Fred Perry, number 93, trying to disguise where he's going to rush the quarterback from. Comes all the way from the middle to the outside, but is picked up effectively by Seth Dittman.
Donovan Carter making the tackle, the #1 draft pick of the Argos this year. Third down and about a foot. The short yardage team is back in. McManus, 3-man backfield. He'll sneak it. Glenn Young tries to push him back, but he'll have the first down.
Well, great surge by the big Hoggies. Mike Philbrick comes in. Mark Verbeek come in at the tight end. The Hoggies on the short yardage team. Glenn Young does an excellent job of stopping McManus initially, but Danny Mack, who's not known for a great leg drive, keeps moving and picks up that first down.
Young getting a rare start. Normally he plays behind Donovan Carter, but he's the run-down linebacker. Bring him in on running downs. And a big special teams player, but Carter's been plagued by the flu all week. First down at center field. Tiger Cats. Again, shotgun handoff, Ronald Williams. Some daylight, leaping to the 50-yard line. So Williams doing the yeoman's load of work here for the Tiger Cats in the first quarter.
Listen, as an old lineman, I'm telling you right now, I'm getting emotional up here in the booth because you got to watch these guys. Gary Brown, 67. Chris Burns pulling out in front of them. Look at the blocks. Great job again by Chris Burns getting the initial block. Gary Brown, all slim, 340 pounds, pulling around that corner. Nice job on the offense. Again, Ronald Williams is the recipient of good yardage.
Martavius Houston took a beating on that last play on the block. I'm not sure who's down, but there is an Argo injured on the field at center.
I'll bet you it was Chris Burns because he pulled out there and just caught the linebacker Martavius Houston and did a nice job because he is the key block. By that I mean he is the front runner. The backside guard has to read the front block. If he sees his numbers, he's got to pull up inside. If he doesn't see his numbers, it means he has to go around the block. So there's so much reading to do by these offensive linemen.
It is Houston, and you're helping him to his feet. The leading tackler on the Argo defense with 41, tied with Calvin Tagle. Looked like he got a leg whip in the face there as he went down.
I think he's just looking for the license number that ran over him. I think that's what he's looking for. You see Chris Burns right there. I mean, that's a great job. And as an offensive lineman, you gotta love that when you're on the field right now and you're running the ball successfully. Because it's so much more fun than just sitting back on your haunches, catching them as they're doing the pass rush and, getting all the glory and all the girls.
But the Ticats find themselves in a 2nd and 5.5 situation. McManus straight back to pass, looking deep downfield, far side. It's Amerson, he's got it! Touchdown, Tiger Cats! Danny McManus' 2nd completion of the game to pass Tom Burgess, 9th all-time in the CFL, and the first major of the game on the Labor Day Classic.
Well, we talked about him going deep, and he's going deep again. I mean, he just gets man-to-man coverage. Gets Archie Amerson out in the backfield, just runs down there. Nice job of protection by that offensive line. He's got one-on-one coverage right there. Adrian Smith, usually an all-star cornerback, but on that play, no match for the speed of Archie Amerson, who makes an outstanding catch, concentrates on keeping the ball, and as you say, puts the first touchdown on the board.
Convert by Osbaldiston is good, and McManus lulls the Argo defense with the run and beats them deep on a 50-yard bomb to Archie Amerson. And it's 9-0 Tiger Cats in the first quarter.
Well, just a nice job. I mean, the Argonaut defense is making Danny McManus earn it by telling you those are the big plays you can't have happen, especially when you get it all in one big play, as you say. But that just shows you, Mark, how important the running game is. You start establishing the run. The linebackers start cheating up to the offensive line. Next thing you know, everybody's expecting the run. He just throws the ball.
Full stride.
Absolutely beautiful throw. Great concentration of Archie Amerson to catch the ball, hold it in there, and as you say, take it into the end zone.
McManus, look at this. Looking wide side, comes back short side, and beats Adrian Smith one-on-one. Watches that one with not much reaction at all. A 50-yard bomb, his 2nd completion of the game. Amerson now with 60 yards on 2 catches. That puts him over 700 yards so far in the season.
Well, that's outstanding. But look at him. I mean, there's no reaction on this guy right now. If you were looking at this picture, you'd wonder if he had a pulse. The biggest thing about it is the fact that he was 0-5. That would rattle some quarterbacks and maybe start forcing them to try and get the completions. He just sits back there and says, you know what, it's going to happen.
McManus with his 14th touchdown pass of the season. The Tiger Cats lead the Argos 9-0. Osbaldiston's kick taken by Tyrone Brown at his own 12-yard line, following the block of Ryan Terry. The special teams still to get untrapped for the Argos, as they don't get much on that one at all.
Well, one of the things I think we have to see as we see the scrum, I mean, there's no love lost between the Tiger Cats and the Argonauts, and there never will be. But one of the things we want to see, maybe we haven't called Daryl Mitchell's name yet today. I mean, here's a guy that 3 weeks ago had 10 catches for almost 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then became invisible last week. And I think you have to make him a part of your offense. Go to him early, get him in the game early. You got Tyrone Brown, the other speedster. That should open up some passing lanes for you.
When Doug Flutie was at the helm of the Argos, he was his favorite receiver. But you're right, Kemp has yet to get the ball to Daryl Mitchell yet. First down Argos at their own 29. Pitch pass. Andre Kerwan is hit immediately by Chris Schelling.
Well, nice job. Just a little hitch pass. Get everybody out there in front of you. See Coach Pinball. Yeah, you don't see many coaches on the football field blocking. Does a nice job on Nicholas Harper. But again, Chris Schelling, and Ron Lancaster will tell you the reason they love this guy is he is so physical. We just saw it right there.
Clemens stays in the game at slot back. Nobody in the Argo backfield except Kemp. He's got time. There's Mitchell. Gets his first pass complete across the 40, 45 to the 50-yard line. And the first big threatening gain by the Argos as Mookie gets his hands on the ball for the first time. 1 quarter done in Hamilton, and the Ticats lead the Argos 9-0 in the Labor Day Classic. At Ivor Wynne Stadium, the head coaches Ron Lancaster and the interim head coach Wally Highsmith deep in the dugout there behind Donovan Carter. Just a little played against each other back in the 70s and 60s. Highsmith, of course, a Grey Cup champion with the Alouettes back in 1970. Lancaster played through 1978, I believe it was, and took over in 79 as the head coach in Saskatchewan. Well,
I think he's pleased to be leading 9-0, but you got to remember they did have the win that first quarter, and that's very important. I mean, you look at the first downs, 2, 4, very even. Yards passing, obviously just after that big pass in favor of Hamilton. Yards rushing, well, the Argonauts have yet to establish with only 1. But I mean, time of possession, relatively even. So the game is not out of hand by any means right now, Mark.
One big pass to Archie Emerson, the real difference in this football game so far.
Absolutely.
First down Argos, just shy of their own 50-yard line. Ryan Terry, handoff. Big move on Montfort, but Montfort recovers quickly to grab him from behind.
Well, that is just a nice job on both sides of the ball there. I mean, as you say, Ryan Terry, give him the lazy leg, pulls it back. Montfort gets caught, but he reacts so well, so quick for a big man to come back after initially falling back. Look at that, hand on the ground, making the play. A lot of people would just turn around and look and say, my teammates will make that play. Not Joe Montfort.
Montfort showing rapier-like reflexes to track down Ryan Terry. It's 2nd and 7. Crowd getting noisy again. Flags are flying and the play is blown down before it starts. And the Argos are called on a time count violation. It'll be 2nd down and 12. Kerwin Bell on the Argo bench, watching along with Jay Barker. Hey, they were teammates in 1998 with the Argos.
Well, I really think the addition of Kerwin Bell is going to bring some, solid things to that Toronto offense. He's got a great offensive mind.
I know it's early, but do you think we'll see Kerwin Bell if Kemp can't get the Argos going?
Right now, I don't think so. I think, it's early yet, as you say in the game.
Kemp, lots of time. Complete again to Daryl Mitchell at the 50-yard line. The tackle by Mike O'Shea. Now that's an interesting matchup, and maybe the Argos are trying to get Mitchell on O'Shea, who's not quite as fast.
Well, absolutely. One of the things you want to do is you try and get mismatches. This would be on paper very much a mismatch. The speed of Daryl Mitchell against the linebacking abilities of Mike O'Shea. But as you say, Mike O'Shea is playing the old hunting game, the duck game. Let the duck come into the water. In this case, Daryl Mitchell. I'll let him look like he's open. Jimmy Kemp throws in the football, and then Mike O'Shea does what he does best, and that's tackle.
O'Shea making sure on that one. As the Argos get back to the line of scrimmage. A block punt. That's the rookie. Clifford Ivory got his hand on that one. The Ticats have it at 50-yard line. There's another flag on the field. A no-yard call will come against the Argos, no doubt about that. As Juhas gets the ball, and pinballs, Argos are in tough here early at Ivor Wynne. Clifford Ivory, the rookie out of Troy State, making his first start for the Tiger Cats in place of Donald Smith, and makes his presence felt on special teams with a block punt.
Well, he's right at the top of the screen. You can see right there, he just beats the block of Orlando Bowen. I mean, there's mental mistakes and there's physical mistakes. That is a physical mistake. If he's that wide out there and you got to block him, then you get your fatty out there to block him. You don't stay in tight. You move out a couple steps to make your job easier. These are mistakes that have been killing and haunting the Argonauts all year.
First down, Ticats at their own 53. McManus in the shotgun. All kinds of time. Wide side. It's intercepted. Antonius Bonner on a ball that hung up intended for Andrew Grape. And the Argos get the ball back.
Well, the ball, as you say, did hang up, Mark. It's a cross-field pass. It's a long throw. And one of the things you're doing, you're throwing right into the teeth of the wind. The ball hangs up, just slows down, allows Antonius Bonner, who leads the team with 3 picks, now has 4, to come back and make a great play on the football right there. And it's a good thing Andrew Grigg tackles him, or he's racing all the way down, putting Toronto right back in this football game.
So Bonner, the 5th-year veteran out of Mississippi, with his 4th interception of the season. And the Argos have good field position at center field. Kemp at quarterback. Terry in the backfield to block. Kemp with time. Down the middle. It's tipped and nearly picked off. Willie Fells couldn't come back to the ball after it was tipped by big Michael O'Shea.
Well, let's talk about Mike O'Shea. You know, wins all his awards as a linebacker, a middle linebacker if you would. Has to move to the weak side linebacker. This time he lines up as Sam linebacker, which means the strong side of the football field, the wide side of the football field. But what he does so well is he gets a great drop. Look at that drop. Gets back there, reacts, gets his paw on the ball, almost causes an interception.
O'Shea having to earn the favor of these Ticat fans, and he's doing it here. The former Argo back in stripes. Kemp with time again. He's got Tyrone Brown open for a first down across the 40-yard line of the Tiger Cats.
Just a nice underneath route by Tyrone Brown, just coming across the middle, puts Clifford Ivory in a chase position. Nice protection. Look, he looks to the right, comes back to the left, throws it. He's running underneath. You can see Clifford Ivory is behind him. As a result, he can't impede the throw. Nice job of getting the ball to him. Nice catch.
Brown is fast. He gives this Argo passing offense, the weakest in the league, a deep threat. Handoff. Ryan Terry nowhere to go. There's Willie Fells and Joe Montford. Steer wrestling him down for a short gain of maybe a yard or 2. Willie Fells playing with a cast on his left arm. He has a dislocated thumb. That was injured 2 weeks ago right here. Had surgery, pins put in it last week. He's back with the cast this week.
One of the reasons he's playing middle linebacker Michael Shea, isn't it? Because he can adjust more easily to the middle than Mike can to the outside.
Rookie out of Purdue, looking into the headlights of Jimmy Kemp. Here's the blitz. Kemp gets it away, and it's incomplete as they sent almost everybody on the Ticat defense. Pressure there from Montford and Mark Word. Just in from Kansas City.
They're bringing this many guys. I mean, look at them all across right there. You see O'Shea's coming, Mark Word coming. They don't have enough guys to pick up the rushers. As a result, he's got to see this. The receiver's got to start yelling. Whatever their code is, bingo, bingo, red, red, red. Let the quarterback know, because if you got too many guys rushing, somebody and the receiving court has got to be open.
Field goal attempt for Jacob Marini. The ball will be placed at the 44-yard line. Wind blowing from left to right. It's down up, wide right. Corey Grant has it in the Ticat end zone. Running the clock, takes a knee, and that wide 44-yard field goal attempt from Marini will give the Argos 1 point. They're on the board, but trailing Hamilton 9-1 with 11:07 to go to the half.
This is a Culligan drinking water system.